Welcome to Amy Learns to Cook. I'm Eric, and on today's show, I'm going to make my homemade enchilada sauce. I love beef enchiladas, but this is also good on chicken enchiladas as well. I don't know if you're like me where you go through tons of enchilada sauce and complain about how much it costs. This stuff's a little bit cheaper and it tastes a lot better. So why don't you join me as I make my homemade enchilada sauce. Since we want our enchilada sauce come out nice and smooth and pretty looking, we're going to use a blender. In this case, I'm going to use a Vitamix. If you're going to use chili pods and remove the seeds and do all that crazy stuff, you really need to use one of these things, and then you can strain out stuff when you're done doing this. Since we're going to be using chili powder, specifically I'm going to be using Amy's recipe for her chili powder. We did a video on that, so look it up, and it makes a wonderful addition to this. This will be smooth enough that we don't need to run a strainer through anything, but the Vitamix will pretty much tear it all up and it'll be wonderful. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add 28 ounces of diced tomatoes, including their juice. You get extra brownie points if you get fire roasted like I did. Makes a little mess there. That's okay. The fire roast, it's going to have a little charred taste to it. If you've ever gone to Chevy's restaurant, their salsa uses fire roasted tomatoes, and it's wonderful. Additional, we're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper ground. We're going to put in 2 tablespoons of Amy's chili powder. You can use your favorite chili powder, or if you're going to grind up whatever, then use 4 or 5 maybe dried peppers, remove the stems, remove the seeds, whatever you want to do to it. But basically, chili powder is pretty easy to go on this. So that's 2 tablespoons. We're going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. I'm going to throw in 1 tablespoon of flour, and that basically helps with the texture later on. I'm going to throw in 2 cloves of garlic. In this case, I don't need to cut it up because the Vitamix will take care of that for me. If you have a blender that doesn't do a happy job, then you might need to cut those up a little bit. And hold off on that right there. So we're going to go ahead and let this whirl until it's all mixed. I don't think those tomatoes stood a chance. Oh yeah, that's nice. All right, so we got our pan nice and warm. I got this on kind of a medium right now. One thing we don't want to do is we don't want to burn anything. I'm just going to go ahead and put in a tablespoon of vegetable oil, or you can use olive oil, doesn't matter. I'm just going to give a little swirl around. So hopefully that'll protect us from burning and sticking and stuff, right? So I'm going to go ahead and just use my spatula and get in some of this mess. Ooh, I can smell the garlic. Yeah, we're just going to get that in there. So we're going to go ahead and cook this for about 3 to 5 minutes, depending upon the consistency that you have. The idea is we just want to get this down to where it looks kind of like a paste. We don't want to burn anything. And then after that, we're going to add some chicken broth, and then we're going to reduce that. So got this at a medium. It'll probably start bubbling in a few seconds, and then I'll reduce it, and then we'll just go ahead and get it thickening up. Okay, now that we've let this thicken up a bit, we're going to go ahead and add 2 cups of chicken broth. I'm using Better Than Bouillon. You can use your favorite chicken broth if you like, and you may need to have a little more on hand just to get the exact consistency you want. So right now I'm just going to go ahead and add this in, and then we're going to go ahead and let this cook down a little bit. It'll probably take maybe 10 minutes or so. And this is a good time that you can go ahead and prep your other things that you're making with your enchiladas. So you can get your meat going, maybe throw your tortillas in the oven to warm them up, unless you're going to, put them on a fry pan and let them warm that way. But this will take probably 10 minutes, and then you can go ahead and get the rest of your enchiladas going together. All right, looks like our sauce has had a chance to do its little mingling thing, and we're going to go ahead and pour it in this bowl. As always, you can cook this to your level of satisfaction. If you want it thicker, then cook a little longer. If you want it thinner, don't cook as long. Use a skillet pan if you want to cook your meat and your sauce all together at once. But if you're going to make this in advance and then do your enchiladas on another day, then cook it in any kind of pan you want. This is just an example of how we do it. And this was using a Williams-Sonoma fully clad pan. If you use a different pan, it might go a little quicker for you here. So we're just going to go ahead. See how beautiful that is? And I can tell you, I can still smell the garlic. I mean, this thing is full of aroma. The canned stuff that I'm used to doesn't have this kind of smell to it. And I'm guessing that's not shocking, right? So that's why you want to make a homemade. It has way more flavor. You can control how much of the peppery flavor you want, tomatoey, all the good stuff. And how we did it here, it came out nice and smooth. Now I'm going to take a little taste, because if it smells like how it smells, I could probably just drink this the way it is, right? So this has really good balanced flavor. Has a little bit of a tomato because it has tomato in it, but the chili powder gives it a good balanced flavor. A little bit of cumin. We didn't put a whole lot because we're not trying to make chili, are we? We're just trying to make something to put our enchiladas in, right? So, but and it's got just a little bit of heat. The black pepper and the chili powder has just a little bit of heat to it. So if you want more heat, then you can use diced tomatoes that are spicy, or you can add some cayenne powder to it, or since you're breaking out the Vitamix or a blender, throw some good old peppers in there, right? But it's not that hard to add heat to it if that's what you really want. If you want a little bit more smokiness to it, then you can use chipotle peppers, or you can get the chipotle peppers that come in an adobo sauce that you can usually get in the international stores or in the international section of your supermarket. And then you got to be careful, because those things do pack quite a bit of punch, but they offer a lot of flavor. So I use the fire roasted tomatoes to give me that little bit of smokiness. But you definitely can use any flavoring you want to get that. And I think that's going to go over the top of any kind of enchilada sauce, because the stuff I get at the store doesn't have any flavor to it. And that's why we make our own. If you like this video, please subscribe and leave a comment and give us a like. And you can also visit us at amylearnstocook.com. And we're also on Twitter and Pinterest at Amy Learns to Cook.